Minnesota Governor Tim Walz's daughter is calling out a popular influencer for daring to visit the White House. It all started earlier this week when running TikToker Kate Mackz stopped by for a chat with Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt.
Hey, how many miles are you running today?
No miles because we're at the beautiful White House, but why don't I give you a tour?
Let's do it.
My name is Karoline Leavitt. I am from New Hampshire and I am the White House Press Secretary, and this is the beautiful White House.
Guys, we have to stop for a second and look at this. I can't believe you get to wake up and be here every single day. Is this a dream come true for you?
It is a dream come true.
It's adorable. Kate Mackz has made videos with Democrats too, including with then vice presidential candidate Tim Walz during the run-up to last year's election. And that's okay, of course. But hang out with the Trump administration, well, now you're crossing a line.
Running as an act is political. And you know who taught me that? Tim Walz. The first thing he told me when I was first getting into it in high school, granted, I don't really do it as much anymore. I go in spurts, but when I was first getting into it in high school, the first thing he told me was that running is a privilege, and being a part of the running community is a privilege that not all people have access to. Sending people away without due process, villainizing minorities, all of those things are preventing people from getting into the running community, which is what I thought Kate's platform was for. But it's also just damaging to society as a whole. We should not be normalizing these people. I'm not going to tell anyone what to do with their page, but I think it's insulting to my dad to leave a certain video pinned, especially when he stands for quite literally the opposite of what this administration is doing. You don't get to both sides this. It's not both sides. We are quite literally talking about good versus evil here.
Holy. Tommy, I know you don't speak lib nonsense, but could you help translate for us what she was trying to say?
There's so much there. I don't even know where to start. First of all, let's go with the whole running is a privilege. To my knowledge, running might be one of the physical activities that you can do for no money. I mean, really, anybody can run anywhere. I understand that some people have more time than others. Maybe that's the point she's trying to make. But to say that running is something for privileged people, again, that's the same thing as exercise is for privileged people. No, it's for everybody. But the overall point here is how damaging is that? She's got a large following for her on TikTok. To say, don't talk to people and don't platform people who don't think like you. What's the message to young people there? Don't talk to people that don't have the same political opinions, and that's your positive message for Gen Z? Again, Democrats are not doing well if they think that that's the positive messaging that's going to move them forward. And if she's the shining star of Gen Z Democrat TikTok.
That was her message, Sandra. That's what's so mind-boggling, is she was demanding...
The heck with her message. How about her adult father when she was a little girl telling her not to run? I mean, think about that for a second. Obviously, I'm a runner, so I feel very passionately about what I just heard there. Everyone can run. I mean, this is the point of running. I was the youngest of 6 kids, and I think my parents just kind of forgot to put me in a sport, so I started running, and I mean, it was everything for me. Look, some of the best runners I've ever come up against came from some of the poorest nations in the world. It helped them rise and get out of poverty and do amazing things. I don't get it. And now she's an adult and she still thinks running is political and good versus evil. I'm baffled.
And I think we all are, Joe. And okay, so let's try to make a bit of sense of this. This is the daughter of the failed vice presidential candidate who's essentially excoriating an influencer for daring to visit the people's house because she also interviewed the dad too. I mean, to Tommy's point, so that's the message. And the thing is that poor influencer Kate, she's getting absolutely torn apart online.
She's lovely,
and she is lovely.
Yes,
we need more influencers like that. Can we please give the Walzes a sitcom? Between goofy Tim Walz,
please not.
Gwen Walz, the wife of Tim Walz, who said she opened the windows during the Minneapolis riots to smell the burning tires because she felt it was an important moment. That is loco, right? So to your point around running being a privilege, my wife grew up in a very modest home. My poor father-in-law had to share one bathroom with 4 other girls. Okay, so you can only imagine how that went. And she would never be able to afford Georgetown, where Kaylee went to school, but she got a full running scholarship because it was something that she could do. She didn't need money for. My kids play sports now. Something like soccer, travel, yeah, that kind of is a privileged sport to a certain extent because you do spend thousands of dollars. But running, anybody can do it. And the fact that she's saying it's a privileged thing is a whole bowl of wrong.
Yeah, and Kaylee, isn't this delusion? Like this, and by the way, we edited that video. She babbled nonsense for a lot longer. That was the salient points that we could make of it. But this,
Yeah, I'm no fan. I'm no fan of Tim Walz, and her videos tend to be a little wild. But my head kind of went to where yours was. Yes, running may be different, but I could see a universe where I say to my son Nash, "You're very privileged that you get to be on a Little League baseball team. There are real issues with affording bats, affording gear, and take this seriously." So I don't mind Tim Walz having that conversation with her about you're blessed to be able to run, to be on a team. I could have that conversation with my child. Where she loses me is when she gets into this is good versus evil. She literally says, we are quite literally talking about good versus evil here, talking about the Trump administration as somehow being evil, all because this young woman did an interview with perhaps the nicest person on planet Earth, who is Karoline Leavitt, who's doing an extraordinary job. That's where you lost me. Stick to the nice lectures from Dad, but you lose me when you start talking good versus evil.
There's one thing about runners, like most runners you meet are nice. They're lovely people, and they do encourage other people to get out there and move. That's what this influencer does, and they encourage other people to run because it is easy and inexpensive to pick up.
Well, maybe she can encourage Hope Walz to run from the microphone because I'm sick of listening to her. Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.